Hi Dylan, this is April Biss. I am looking at your two menu covers, which look really good, except for some big issues here. I like the imagery that you chose. There is just some readability issues that I wanted to address and show you some things that you can do. So with the logo, and I know I didn't explain this too well in the actual lecture, so I wanted to make sure you guys that you're understanding of this. The logo should be able to work on different backgrounds in order to be versatile. This doesn't necessarily work on these type of backgrounds because they're very busy, very similar in hue. So what I would suggest is going back to your original logo file, so the AI file that was given to you. Go ahead and make what was purple and red white instead. So I just filled it with white. I will give you this file because I already did it. So I just basically saved it as a different logo file, named it white, and then I just selected what was purple and filled with white. I left the stars yellow and then I saved it. So then what I will do next is just replace it with that white logo, and you'll see kind of the difference. Okay. So now I would definitely push this up to the darker areas. I tried it down here. It would work really nicely down here as well. But I'm going to show you another trick up here if you decide to use the logo up here. I think it would work nicely right around here. The only part is this upper section where the window is might have some readability issues. So I'm going to take my square shape and I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to probably where that wood ends and make that square. And then I'm going to take my eyedropper tool and I'm going to sample this wood here. I'm going to actually pull this up so I can sample it from here. So I'm going to take that eyedropper tool again. Where'd it go? There we go. I'm going to sample this wood here. So I'm going to just do, I might have to deselect that before I do that. There we go. Okay, I think it's because I don't have the image linked. Let me try to link this here real quick. Okay. What is going on? Low resolution. I can't grab any type of colors here. Okay, I should be able to. I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm going to go and try to pick a color that's similar to this color. It's kind of in the browns. Maybe a little dollar right there. Okay. All right. And then what I'm going to do, I'll pull this down again. Pull it down. There we go. That's my shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a gradient on this, make it a gradient. So I'm going to take and I showed this in the lecture, the live lecture too. The gradient feather tool is a really cool option. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to position my my little pointer here at the almost at the very top. I'm going to kind of position it right where, a little bit below the trim edge. And I'm going to click and drag down. And I'm going to stop before the blue square ends. So like right about here. And you'll see it kind of fading out. Now I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to do kind of less above there. See how the gradient is lower now? So you can kind of change that to what you want it to be. So I'm going to go pretty low on this, and then so it kind of fades out right before that wood. And then I'm going to go up here to my opacity setting, see where it says 100. Then I can scale that back so it's not 100% that brown color on top. So you can kind of see the texture through there, which is kind of nice still, but it's not as contrasty. Then I'm going to take the logo and I'm going to select it and go up to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Boom, there you go. Now you have, it's easy to read. It's easier to read. You don't have as much like contrast going on. I can move this up just a little bit. If that sign is getting in the way, we can always Photoshop that out. But that's kind of a nicer presentation. It reads, it pops off that color. There's no weird brightness kind of getting in the way of the logo being presented. The next thing I would do is take your type tool, go down here where this copy is, and change this to white or something lighter, just because it's very hard to see, and now you have no issues there. I would also pull this down. Let me center this, make sure it's centered here. The tagline, go ahead and make it white if you want. You kind of want to make it look a little different. You can either go all lowercase, just keep it consistent, or we can do all uppercase too. So all caps. If you do that, I would downsize it a little bit because it's like kind of, there's a lot going on there. You don't want it to compete with the logo either. It's a little hard to see here. So what you might want to do is adjust the leading here, which it looks like you have spaces. Let's take those spaces out. Your leading is right here in the character palette panel, and without the spaces you can adjust, you can adjust, I'm not sure what happened there. You can adjust the leading here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me take this out of preview mode. Maybe that's what's going on. Let me save this here. Let me go back to where I was. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to give it about an 18 leading. You can make the phone number a little bit bigger, but you'll have to, space this out accordingly as well. Make sure it's even. I'm just messing with the kerning. Okay, I'm going to take this out of presentation mode here, or preview mode. Take it to bleed. Okay, there we go. Let me see where your guides are. You can pull this down slightly and pull this down slightly. As well. You can also get all this on one line. The only thing, if you do that, like for instance, I would put like a little bullet point or something in between here. That way you gain a little bit more space. You can pull this down a little bit, and then you have more space for your subhead. Okay, so I think that is a very interesting cover. Just play around with it, see what you think. I like this cover as well, but this is really, like, there's a lot going on here. You would need a little bit more contrast for where the, if you put your white logo on here, it's still going to be hard to read, and it's still going to be hard to read this copy. So you need a little bit more contrast like you have here. I think this is probably the way to go. I like this idea of this picture because this really aligns well with the brain keyword, so I would definitely go with this one. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this helps.